I grew up in a strict family, a strict Catholic family. A lot of emphasis on guilt, on feeling bad for what you've done. Saw a lot of intimate partner violence. They got married really young and they pushed each other's buttons. And so kind of had a ferocious childhood as far as that's concerned. I took a lot of that on in my adult life. A lot of self-sacrifice is what led to my addiction. The Army was great. I achieved really highly, was headed down, a path to do really cool things. That military mindset of you go last, your people eat first, your people get sleep first, those kind of things. It just felt really familiar to my childhood. Through fate, ended up having kids pretty early, around 25. I didn't start using until 27, 28. That's about the time I had started working in my career. Had a lot of pressure at work, had a lot of pressure from home. That's when I settled into that role and really felt like, okay, this is what I was put on earth to do. We were a good Catholic family, meaning we got pregnant one after another, and that was a lot of stress, a lot of financial stress. I started taking the medications that were prescribed at that point and saw that they helped. Progressed from there to, through dependency and into just kind of I don't know how to imagine the world without them kind of a thing. Yeah, I did a lot of things that weren't right. I found myself crossing into territory that I'd never been in before. And I didn't realize it at the time, but there was a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression at the same time, just for having really unrelenting standards when it comes to being a father and a husband. I found out I could use alcohol just like drugs. Drinking early in the morning, at work, driving all the time under the influence, and just lost myself to that drug as well. I knew I needed help. I knew my life was falling apart. I had some people that really cared and really wanted to see me do well and get better. And so I was getting these little messages, these little nuggets of information and love along the way. I just, for some reason, couldn't break up with the substances. I went into a really deep state of depression and was suicidal every day for probably 4 or 5 years. And it's just really bad. I was estranged from my kids. I was like, this just isn't healthy. I can't do this anymore. I've got to get busy one way or the other. Decided to come to Stout Street and live. It's the hardest program I could find. The classes that they do here had a profound effect on my thinking and my belief systems about myself. I like to say I had my spiritual awakening when I was in the maladaptive schemas class. With all the guilt and shame from everything that had happened, I convinced myself that I wasn't deserving of good things. I started realizing, I can have whatever I want to in my life. I can do whatever I want to in my life. It's up to me to go get it. Coming through Stout Street and realizing the errors in my thinking and how my belief systems were keeping me sick. It was phenomenal. It was mind-blowing to get my kids back in my life and have them be a part of my recovery. They came to my graduation, and that's kind of where we kind of realized each other. I just never considered that I could be as blessed as I am today. As veterans, we're taught to be very prideful and be proud and strong. It doesn't mean you're weak when you ask for help. As a matter of fact, I think it means you're more courageous.
I feel very proud of him. When he started dating, he told me about his addiction and his history. And I remember that I told him, you deserve to be happy. We deserve to be happy. Because he was telling me, I feel like I don't deserve good things. I'm very proud of him for all he's done and all he become now, to see how he is helping other people.
One of the biggest tenets of recovery is you can't keep it unless you give it away. And it's that continuation of helping someone who's struggling. When we're talking to them, we're talking to ourselves at the same time. If you're struggling, if you're wondering what your next step is, if you're lost, if you're hurting and you don't know what the next step might look like, get past your pride for a second, reach out and ask for some help, and then take that help. It's the best thing I ever did. I just urge you to call. Make that call.